Welcome to my channel. This is Mario Lord, also known as Real Estate Guru PK. On this channel, we talk about my real estate endeavors. We also have the top real estate producers and the top entrepreneurs in the country. Be sure to click the link below with Justin P. with his Support Black Colleges marketing course. Also with Jason White's Crack the Code affiliate link, click that below as well. Also to support the channel, Webull, M1 Finance, Chase, Discover, Robinhood, and Public, a stock trading app. We hope you enjoyed this episode. This is Real Estate Guru PK signing out. We got a special guest, Alexa Wright. I've been trying to get her out for like a year now. How was the seminar?
The rental summit was amazing. It was extremely motivational. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of heavy hitters in the building. I really don't have no complaints. That was actually the first short-term rental summit that they've ever had, like anybody has ever hosted. So instead of like these events where it's like real estate and focusing on credit and everything else, this was strictly about Airbnb. So I got to be able to see like the way other people do it, because I don't do it the way a lot of people in Houston do it because of the way the market is down here. So I learned a lot. Like I was even taking notes, you know what I mean? I have no complaints about that event. It was amazing.
Do you plan on moving some to Houston?
I would have to find some connects down here.
Okay.
So the only thing when it comes to Airbnb and going out of the state that you live in or the city that you live in is making sure you have somebody to manage it. Okay. So I don't know anybody down here. I do have a lot of network down here.
You know
but when
TJ,
it comes
You know TJ?
I know TJ, but TJ's building his boutique right now.
Oh, okay.
So like I wouldn't put, if I come down here and get 5 units, I wouldn't put 5 units on TJ. He got a whole hotel right now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it would just be about finding a solid team. That's solid, keyword on solid. Because I don't have time to be running back and forth to Houston. Like when I'm in Atlanta, I don't have to worry about running back and forth nowhere. You know, like all of my units are in the vicinity of where I live. So I don't have to worry about that. But when you talk about having a problem and a lease is in my name or in my business name, I don't have time to be catching a flight to Houston. Like I'm gonna need y'all to handle it. So if I can't get that, I don't wanna come down here. And that goes for anywhere. Because people ask me like, oh, do you want to go to Miami? Or, you know, like, why you want to come to LA? And I'm like, I don't know anybody in these places to be able to run my business. Like, knowing somebody is different. But running my business the way I run it in Atlanta, I'm going to need it to be the same way as if it was in Houston. So it's I don't know. I'm on both sides of the field. I really like it down here, though. Okay. And literally everybody that I've talked to have asked me, do you have any units in Houston? Or are you going to come to Houston? And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm really convinced to come down here. I'm convinced to come down here. I like it down here.
You like Houston more than Atlanta?
No. No, I don't like Houston more than Atlanta.
What's the difference?
I don't know. I don't know. It might be the food.
The food?
Yeah. So y'all got good food, but we got really good food.
Oh, for real?
The vibe is different. Then y'all like right by the water. We don't have no problems with weather. We don't have no problems with like, I don't have nothing to worry about. Like y'all gotta worry about hurricane season. Y'all gotta worry about flooding. Like we don't have to worry about none of that up there.
That just happened the last 5 years, like 5-6 years ago. It never flooded before.
Or after?
No,
Oh really?
I live here all my life. That's just that was like 2016, 14, and then I think it was like 3 floods. But that was just the last like 5-10 years. Never when I was in the elementary or middle school or high school that happened before.
Okay, well, I don't know. It's something about Atlanta. Like Atlanta is home for me. I don't know. I ain't seen enough. I only been here since Friday. So I haven't really seen enough, but I do like the vibe down here. The food is really good. Like the people are super cool. You know, like I ain't really met no stuck up people. I ain't met no racist people. Like I really don't have nothing bad to say about Houston. Like y'all really next up after Atlanta for real. And I can't believe it's my first time coming down here. It's like, dang, I've been missing out on Houston. So I would definitely consider.
How was InvestFest?
InvestFest was the dopest event I've ever been to. In my life. The dopest event I've ever been to. Okay. I won't compare it to the rental summit because they were different. They're a podcast. TJ had this event based on you know, like what he do. So the Invest Fest, we had Steve Harvey, Tyler Perry was there, Wall Street Chopper was there. It was a lot of heavy hitters there too. The thing I liked about Invest Fest is it touched on everything: stocks, real estate, credit, you name it. Mortgage, MG the mortgage guy. It was a lot of people that I could learn from other industries other than Airbnb. So I networked with a lot of people. I met a lot of realtors. I have a 4-week mentorship going on right now, so I was able to network with a lot of people for them to come onto my class to teach my students and my audience. So that was the kicker for me, like the network. I got a lot of new contacts. I got a ton of new followers. Like a lot of people was able to meet me in person. You know, it's different when you meeting people on Instagram or when you DMing somebody on Instagram than, you know, actually seeing them in person. So a lot of people was really happy to see me for the first time coming out to Invest Fest.
Do you have qualifications for your mentees, like, or do you accept anybody?
No, you can, if you're ready to like join, you can join. I don't have any qualifications for it.
Okay.
When it comes to you getting started, that's on you.
They don't have to have a special credit score or anything like that?
So for my 101 program, you do. You need at least a 650 and you can't have any evictions on your credit report. But I only open that like maybe 2 or 3 times a year. I don't really open it often.
You don't have time?
It's a time, exactly. Yep, it's a time. And if I don't got time for it, I ain't accepting you. Like, I do other stuff. So Airbnb is not the only thing I do. So I'm not literally like tuned into my one-on-one clients every single day. So I was doing that and it was taking up too much of my time. I'm like, I gotta step back. Like, this is too time consuming. So I don't do it throughout the year anymore.
Okay, can we talk about your upbringing? Like how you started in like Georgia State and growing up like with your family?
Yeah, so I grew up I had my mom, my dad, and I had my stepdad. So I had 3 parents. Luckily, I was fortunate for my parents to get along. My dad and my stepdad are tight, like they're friends, you know. A lot of people think it's weird, but they did it for us. Like, they have their relationship based off us. My stepdad, he's a super cool dude. You know, like, he wasn't with the extra. He knew my parents didn't want to be together anymore. So he was never like insecure to where he was like, I don't want the dad around. He wasn't one of those dads, you know. So a lot of their relationship is contingent upon the children. At the time we were kids, when my mom and my dad separated, I was like 9 or 10. So I was young. It was hard really seeing my dad get out of the house because that's all I knew. My mom had knew my stepdad for some time before he moved in, but by the time we met him, he was new to us, so we wasn't having it because, you know, my dad had moved out not too long ago. So I was fortunate, like I said, to have my mom, my dad, and my stepdad. I was able to travel. I traveled a lot when I was in school. I was fortunate enough to do that. I traveled a lot. I've been to over like 40 different countries. So that's amazing. And I went to school on the west side of Atlanta. That's where I grew up. I started working when I was 14. I worked at Chick-fil-A at 14. I had a worker's permit. And I would literally like have to leave school every day after high school and go to work. Except the weekend. I didn't have to work on the weekend. I couldn't work on the weekend because of my worker's permit. So I would leave school Monday through Friday and go to work. And
you wanted to work?
Yeah, I actually did want to work. I actually did. Like, my mom, she didn't play that. Like, she wasn't having that shit. Like, you got to get up and go to work. And the thing about me was she didn't have to force me to go to work. One thing that she did instill in me was principles, like morals, like values. She did instill that into me. So I found work to be like a part of me. And literally, like, I'm 25 now. I'm literally like just now separating my work life from my personal life. And it's taking me like 11 years to do that. I've always been like work. People have always known me to hustle or, you know, be the girl to get the money. Like, that's all I've been known for. So now that I'm 25, I'm just now learning to separate my personal and my business life. But she was like when I was in high school, she would make me pay a Comcast bill, like the cable bill. She would make me pay my phone bill. Like, she really taught me responsibility at a young age. So now I don't do anything if my priorities are not in line. Like, it makes me feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And I think that was something that I want to teach all my children. Like, if my mom didn't do that, I don't think I'll be where I am today. Because a lot of times when we're young, we get caught up in that lifestyle. And it's so easy to get caught up. You know how it is down here because it's the same way in Atlanta. You're young, you feel like you got time. I never felt like I had time. I always felt like it's time for me to grind right now. I could chill later on. So I'm lucky to have a mom that was able to instill that in me, because it really made me the person I am today.
Would you be mad if your daughter wasn't an entrepreneur? Like she just had like a 9 to 5?
Would I be mad? I don't think I'll be mad. I'll feel like I failed as a mom, for sure.
For real?
For sure.
So you'd be like super disappointed. You'd be like super disappointed.
Super. Because if me and her dad's grinding every day, she knows our units. She knows if we go to a certain building, if we're cleaning, she knows how to get to the units. She knows what keys look like. She knows where the keys are located. Like, she knows this stuff. We'll be driving by an apartment or something, and she'll be like, "Mommy, that's your unit." Like, she knows. So the fact that all of our kids, like, the fact that they know the business, like, we teach them the vending machines, we teach them about the Sprinter. Like, she knows the Sprinter. She knows the Sprinter. Like, I have a phone for the Sprinter business. She'll be like, "Mommy, can I see the Sprinter phone?" Like, she knows that belongs to the Sprinter phone, the Sprinter business. So the fact that y'all see us grinding and we teach all this stuff, if y'all get older and y'all can't run these businesses that we have that we're sitting, because this stuff is for them. This ain't for us. We enjoy it because it's what we do every day, but ultimately it's for our children. If we doing this every day and we grinding for y'all to go work a 9 to 5, it's something that we didn't do right as parents. So I don't think I wouldn't be upset, but I'll feel like I feel it as a mom. Like, one thing about her dad, like, he makes sure that our children can be them. And like, I don't want to create a path for her because my mom did that to me. You know, like, she wanted to walk her life in my shoes because she didn't do it right for her. And I'm like, I got my own life. So I don't want to create a Maury's life for her. I want her to be who she wants to be. But I do want to be able to set morals and principles for her that I follow as an adult and as a child. I want her to know that stuff. But as far as her going on her own life path, I do want her to do her own thing. I just want her to take me. Like, I want her to be like me. I want her to be ambitious like me. But if that means not being an entrepreneur, that's cool. You know, like, she always said she wanted to be a police officer. You know how kids are. Like, they want to be everything else except the entrepreneur. So last week we were talking, I was like, "Maury, do you want to be an entrepreneur?" And she was like, "What is that?" Like, she's gonna ask. She was like, "What is that?" I was like, "It's a business owner." And she was like, "No, I want to be a police officer." I was like, "Okay." You know what I mean? Like, I just put the bug in her ear. It was a funny little conversation, but I want her to be who she wants to be. I would definitely feel disappointed, though, if she didn't have that entrepreneur mindset. Because being an entrepreneur is a mindset. It's not an occupation. Nobody's like, "What's your occupation?" And you're like, "I'm an entrepreneur." You know what I mean? Like, it's a mindset. So that's my take on that.
Okay. Did you finish your story about coming up? Like.
Okay, so.
My bad.
No, it's okay. So by the time I graduated high school. I went straight to college. I went to Georgia State University. And.
How old were you when you went to college?
How old was I? I think I was 18.
You was 18?
I was 18.
Okay.
I actually did dual enrollment in high school. So I.
You already had credits? You already had credits from high school?
I already had credits. So by the time I got to college, I only had 2 years left. Because I was doing dual enrollment as a sophomore in high school. So when I was a sophomore in high school, I wasn't even going to high school. I was going to Georgia State for 2 years. I would literally only go for my electives at my high school because I did have to complete my electives to graduate. So I would only go like twice a week or 3 times a week to complete my credits for my electives. But sometimes my teachers would be like, "We'll see you next week" or something. Like, they didn't even bother. But by the time I graduated, I was 18 and I went to Georgia State. I stayed on campus, and college by the time I became a sophomore in college, it had got a little rocky for me. Like, I had picked up another major. So I double majored in accounting and finance. So my main major was accounting. And then I picked up finance my sophomore year. And by the time I became a junior, I got pregnant.
So you was trying to be an accountant. That was the goal.
Yes, I wanted to be an entertainment accountant. So I didn't want to be like a accountant doing taxes. I mean, like, for regular people, I wanted to be in the entertainment industry, like for the football players and the basketball players, like rappers and stuff. Like, I wanted to be on that side because it's a little different. I ain't feel like sitting in nobody's desk. I ain't want to be in nobody's office. Like, I wanted to have my own firm. That was my goal. I don't know what happened in the midst of I don't know what happened in the midst of that, but at any point in time I wanted to go do that, I can. You know what I mean? So that's what meant most to me. Like even when I was in college, my main thing was graduating. Although I had started my business, I'm like, damn, I'm at the end. You know, like I had started making 6 figures with my credit repair company that I had started as a junior in college. I'm like, I'm at the end. Like there's no way I can quit. I had so many people like really praying on my downfall by the time I had a baby, waiting for me to drop out of college.
So people was like talking down when you had your child?
For sure. Like nobody expected me to have a baby. Like that was never in my plans, but it happened. You know, I love my daughter to death. So I don't have any regrets behind it. Like she's literally like my lifeline. You know what I mean? If I could do it again, I wouldn't. You know, I would wait. I think that's anybody. Like I don't ever think it's a perfect time to have a child. No time is perfect. You know what I mean? Like it's always gonna slow you down. I don't care who you are. So if I could go back, I would definitely do it again. I would wait. I feel like it's more stuff I could have accomplished, you know, without a baby.
But you think your daughter got you more focused?
Definitely, 100%. Like she gave me a different drive. Like if it, you know, when you by yourself, you young, like you don't feel like you really got no responsibilities.
You're selfish too.
Yeah, you definitely selfish. Like she gave me another level of responsibility as an adult. So like sometimes when I didn't want to get up, I didn't have a choice. Like milk had to be bought, clothes had to be bought, like school got to be paid for. She had a nanny. The nanny got to be paid for. When I was pregnant, I had a doula. Like that shit had to be paid for. You know what I mean? So it was a different level of hustle when I had her. Like when I got pregnant, I'm like, I already knew the people that was praying on my downfall. It was really the closest people to me for real. So I'm like, okay, bet.
They not in your life no more?
No, they're family.
Are they family?
For sure.
Okay.
They're family, so they definitely here. It be your own family though. Unfortunately, it be your own family. Like it's inevitable. Like it be your own family. So by the time I became a junior, I got pregnant as a senior. I failed a summer semester as a senior. I failed the fall semester and I had to go back for the summer. So instead of me graduating in May, I didn't graduate until December of 2019 because I had to take on another semester from a semester I had failed. I would literally have to take Amori to school with me. Like I would have to take her to school with me when I was checking in gas. Like she used to have to come with me. She was a newborn. I was breastfeeding for a little. I was so busy to the point where I wasn't eating, so I wasn't producing no milk from running around. And my parents lived like 45 minutes away from me. So I was damn near alone, you know what I mean? Like I had became a single mom, so that was another kicker for me, you know. Like I really went through postpartum depression really hard, but it didn't really catch up with me until on the back end. Like I was so busy, I ain't have time to worry about shit. Like I ain't have time to worry about being depressed. I ain't have time to be worried about sitting in the house. I really had shit to do, you know what I mean? So that's why I say I'm grateful for her because she gave me a different level of hustle. She made me want to get up and get out and go to school. She made me want to get up and go to work. So, became a single mom. She used to have to come to class with me. I used to have to leave class.
Your professors was cool about it? They wasn't tripping?
They don't be tripping about stuff like that. I used to sit in the back of class, so they knew, like my professors that I did have, they knew my situation, and I let them know. And I wasn't the only one in there with a baby. Like I had a few classes where girls bring their babies, and it just showed people determination. Like she could be done. Like you shouldn't have no excuses. And I tell my students that, I tell any audience I go speak to, like I wouldn't be here if I wasn't consistent. I wouldn't be where I am if I wanted to quit. Like you know how many times I wanted to give up. Like I can't do this. Like I've given up a few times. So. My professors wasn't really tripping. I was sitting in the back of the class, and she wasn't a crybaby, so she didn't cry. Or nice. She didn't disrupt class.
That's really good.
Yeah, I'm grateful for that. I'm super grateful for that. So, eventually, in the midst of me being in college, I started my real estate business with Greg Parker and Nikki, which is his wife. Big business. I bought a duplex in Cleveland, Ohio. And
so you was one of the first ones to start buying properties out there with.
Oh, for sure. I was the first client. I was the first client he's ever had in Cleveland.
For real?
Yeah, for sure. I bought the first house he had ever sold in Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah. So, I was his first client. He had a class in Atlanta at the Marriott, and I was in the first row taking my notes at the Marriott. He had a little meet and greet in Philly. I went to Philly, and then after that, that's when I signed up for the one-on-one program. At that point in time, the one-on-one program was like $5,000. Now his one-on-ones are $20,000. So I kind of got in at the right time. So I bought the duplex up there, and in the midst of me being in the real estate industry, I was just like reading books, feeding myself with knowledge, learning new stuff, and that's how I learned about Airbnb. So I was moving out of one of my condos to another one, and by this time I had already learned about Airbnb. So I just kept the apartment I kept the apartment, and I kept the furniture in there, and I moved to another one. I bought new furniture for that one, and I just put the old one up for Airbnb, and it literally started paying its bills and the new bills. So I'm like, okay, bet. And that's kind of how I started scaling. People ask me like, how did you get into the industry? And I'm like, I didn't do anything extravagant. Like, nobody gave this to me. Like, it wasn't passed down to me. I really just moved out of one of my apartments and put it on Airbnb. So it was nothing like, oh, I took this amount of money and I really didn't have to use no money.
So nobody specifically put the Airbnb bug in your ear? You just chose that on your own?
Yep, just doing research, just learning new stuff. Nobody ever had told me about Airbnb. No, and this was before Airbnb was even a thing.
I know.
Like 5 years ago. Like it wasn't a thing. There was no mentors for real. Nobody really had them. So now that my business is where it is, it's because I've been on the platform for so long. So I can list a new unit every day, and it's gonna do numbers the same day because I've been on the platform for so long.
How many units you got?
Right now we're running over about 30 units.
30 units?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm about to ask you how much you gross, but I don't want to ask you that.
Okay.
So what can you explain the Superhost?
Yeah, so
how long did it take you to be a Superhost?
So Superhost is every 90 days. So it's January, February, March, April. Every quarter. I don't know the months. It's every quarter though. So the thing with Superhost is once you get it, you don't keep it. You gotta maintain it. So you can get Superhost in January and you can lose it in April. So with Superhost, you got to maintain a 4.8 star rating. You have to have at least, you only can have one cancellation every 365 days. So you're literally walking on pins and needles. You cannot have more than one cancellation that's penalized against you as a host. So if the guest cancels, that's different. You don't need, it won't count against you. And then there's this a little weird bullet point they got. You got to have at least 100 nights or something within the Superhost. I don't know. It's a weird little 10-night stay or 100-night stay that they have. It's weird, but everybody pretty much meets it. So the 4.8 star rating, the cancellation, only one, and then the 10 nights or 100 nights every quarter that you got to meet to become a Superhost.
How fast were you able to become a Superhost?
You can become a Superhost.
Like right away?
It got to be 90 days. It's every 90-day mark. So if it's February and you meet those requirements, by April, you can become a Superhost.
Okay.
So you don't just become a Superhost in a week. You gotta become it by the quarter when they do the assessments. So they have periods where they do the assessments. So as long as you meet those requirements within the assessment period, you can become a Superhost.
How long did it take you to build your cleaning company?
So the cleaning company is not mine, it's actually my boyfriend's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I tell people all the time, cleaning was the downfall to my business. Cleaning was the reason why I wanted to quit. Housekeeping was the reason, literally, I was quitting Airbnb.
So he already had a cleaning company when y'all met? Oh.
He didn't have nothing when we met. He didn't have a cleaning company, he didn't have a team, he didn't have products. One day I was sitting in my room. We was chilling in my room. It was me, him, the children. It was they was playing GTA or something on the game. And the property manager that I had at the time and the housekeepers I was using at the time, they used to be beefing all the time because they were both so headstrong.
Okay.
So remind you, I'm in college now. I'm over here trying to get my degree, taking care of my child, and you got them over here beefing. I'm like, y'all handle it. on multiple occasions. One of them I called me crying because the other one did something to them.
You serious?
Yeah, it's like, I'm like, this is annoying. So one day I'm just sitting in my room and I'm like, one of them, Raina is the housekeeper, she called me, she was like, such and such, she was like, Ashley did this to me and she did this, and I'm like, bro, I'm over this, like, I'm done with this. I literally like busted out crying. I'm like, I'm done.
For real?
Yes, I'm like, I'm done.
Dang.
I was like, I'm over this shit, like, y'all can have it.
So
like,
you quit for real at that time?
I was fin to.
Okay.
I was fin to. And my boyfriend was like, I'm gonna go help you clean. He clean like a woman. Like, his mama don't play. Like, he be in, like, when I first met him, I would go to his house. He'll be cleaning every day. I'm like, bro, what is you cleaning? Like, everything is clean here.
You got OCD?
Huh?
You got OCD?
No, he's just a clean freak. Like, he's super neat.
Okay.
Like, he's not one of those dirty men. He's super neat. Like, he be scrubbing a tile in his bathroom. We got white tile in our condos, and he be scrubbing the tile like with bleach and cotton. I'm like, bro, like, it's not that deep. So he's a super clean freak. But he was like, I'll help you clean. And I'm like, bro, like, I'm not about to play with you. Like, we wasn't even like boyfriend and girlfriend yet. We was just kicking it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I'm not about to, like, this is my business for real. Like, I don't got time to play with you.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm for real. I'm like, all right, whatever. And so he really started the cleaning company. Like, it was me, him, and our little cousin. And they really got out and started cleaning. He brought on his niece, his nephew, some of his family, and like, it was just smooth sailing from there. And that was the reason why I really didn't quit, because at that point in time I was done. I didn't have no exit plan. I didn't know what else I was gonna do. I was just like, this is causing me too much of a headache, and it costing me too much money. Like, I can't do this no more.
So at that point you wasn't making no cash flow at that point?
I was, but it wasn't worth the headache.
Oh, I see what
you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't worth the headache. Like, my focus was graduating college at that time, so I'm like, I could revisit this another time. But it was distracting me from school. I'm like, when I say nothing was gonna distract me from graduating, and I meant that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a vow that I had made to myself. I didn't care how much money I had made. I had already done 6 figures as a junior, so I wasn't tripping as a senior. Like, I had 2 businesses by then, really 3. So the money wasn't nothing to me. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't tripping on the money. So it was smooth sailing after he started the housekeeping company. I'm super grateful for him for that, because I was done with Airbnb. Like, their Airbnb clean shit was out the door. So no, I didn't have a cleaning company. He got a team together, and we was out rolling every day. After that day, I think that was like July 9th, 2020.
So after that,
2019.
After that, everything started popping after that.
Yeah.
So how many Airbnbs you had at this time?
At that point?
Yeah, at that point.
6.
6?
And they were all mine.
So you made 6 figures off of the 6 Airbnbs?
No, I was teaching Airbnb too.
Oh.
And I had a credit repair company.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was doing a little bit of everything. But so now the units that I run, they're all not mine. Like, my boyfriend has 3, I have clients. I have a property management company. So the property management company and the housekeeping company go hand in hand.
How much was they making? They're like 10%?
Who was that?
The property management company.
It was $400 a month.
400. So that's like no matter what they get.
Yeah, like, I'm not one of those mentors, or like, I genuinely want to see my students win. I'm not there to eat out of their pocket. So
okay.
Ultimately, the longer that you're on the platform, the more money that you make, because the better your reviews are, right? The more reviews that you have. So if you start in month 1 and you make $5,000, by the time you get to month 13 or month 15, you might make $10,000. Just because you make it, the only reason why you're making more money is because you're more established on the platform, not because I'm doing more work. So for me, the reason why I don't like taking a percentage is because I want to see you make your profits. Like, that was the goal. The thing about my property management company is I only accept my one-on-one clients. So regular people can't come join my property management company. For one, it's the systems that we've created to run the company, to run the units, to where just anybody can sign up, because that's our recipe. Like, that's how we win it, is our systems that we've created. Mm-hmm. So the only people that can sign up for property management and housekeeping are my one-on-one clients. So we got a different kind of connection. Like, I'm not gonna take more money from you. If you're making $5,000 and you go to making $8,000 by the end of the year, why do I deserve more money from you? Mm-hmm. We follow the systems that we created are makes it easier for us to run the unit. I don't gotta take more money from you because you're making more. I'm glad that you're making more. That means I'm doing something right. That means my systems that I'm using are working. So that's how I don't really like the percentage thing. Like, it's like if you're making more money, that doesn't mean you can have a 30-day booking and you don't have to do anything. Most of the time when we get long-term stays, we don't have to do nothing. We don't have to replenish toiletries. We don't have to replenish towels. Like, we'll provide them with Tide Pods, or they'll bring their own towels. You know what I mean? So we don't have to do the most. We really don't have to go over there at all. But what I do is, like, I'll have housekeeping go over once or twice if we got a long-term booking. But other than that, if you make $5,000 because somebody stayed for 30 days, why do I deserve more money when I'm not even doing more work? And people don't look at it like that. They just look at it percentage-wise because that's what's across the board in the industry. But that's not the way I run my company. I never will.
Do you do theme Airbnbs, or they just all just like regular?
No, for me, all of mine are corporate. They're they're corporate. I don't really get into the themes. We were just talking about doing a theme, honestly. I gotta find a good one though, cause they don't play these. They be having some whack ass themes out there, and they ain't going for no corny theme. So I gotta come up with a good theme that I want to do, and that's gonna be set apart from everybody else's. Like, people kill me with the all pink, the all blue, the Chanel. Like, that shit is overrated now. Like, I gotta find something that's lit.
That's different.
Yeah, that's different. So when I find something, I'm not pressed to find anything, but when I do, I'll execute and I'll do it.
Okay.
But the corporate units are my thing. I don't have to worry about them not getting booked during the week. I know for a fact people are gonna come and stay. They look clean, they look neat. Like, I don't have to worry about guests coming in doing the most because they feel like they can have a party because it's a theme unit. I don't have to worry about any of that. So the corporate side is just my niche. And I ain't the type to fix nothing that ain't broken in my business. So, have
any of your Airbnbs got like really messed up?
Oh, for sure. The very first one I ever had, actually no, the second one that I ever had, I had this girl and her boyfriend stayed, and I don't know what happened, but they got into a fight and it was blood everywhere. So my housekeepers had FaceTimed me.
Oh, that's the one you was talking about with Earn Your Leisure.
Yeah, exactly. It was blood everywhere. And I had to go to court for that. Like, they had blood all over my unit.
So you had to go to court for that?
I had to go to court for that shit. Like, that shit was crazy. I had to go to court for that.
You had to testify, or you was, or
they subpoenaed me because it happened at my unit.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
Damn.
I didn't even want to go because it ain't had nothing to do with me. Like, it was not none of my business, but it happened.
So you had to like describe the scene?
Yep. I didn't even know them. But it happened at my apartment, so like they subpoenaed me to come, and it was just blood everywhere. It was crazy. She had blood all over. It was blood all over the sheets, the towels. It was blood dripping like out the door. It was like really bad. It was yucky, but that was probably the worst experience I've ever had in the industry. I've had people throw parties, of course. I don't really get parties that often anymore because of my screening process, but I've had people throw parties. They've destroyed the units a few times, but not often. I don't really get guests like that.
Do you just do Airbnb? You don't do the BRBBO? You don't do that?
VRBO? I do Verbo.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do Verbo too. But we don't get that much traffic on there.
Okay, so Airbnb is better?
Yeah, Airbnb is more solid. Has a different foundation. Verbo is more so for like vacation homes, beach houses. They get booked often on there, but not for the units that I list. Yeah, Verbo might come through every blue moon, maybe like 2 or 3 times a month, but definitely the most of the traffic comes from Airbnb.
Do you plan on going like outside of America?
That's a really good question. I don't have any.
Like Puerto Rico or anything like that?
I don't. You know what? I took him to Puerto Rico. I took my boyfriend to Puerto Rico for his birthday in 2021. Last year, and we stayed at the Ritz-Carlton at Dorado Beach. It was the most beautiful hotel most beautiful hotels I've ever been to. And they actually had this program for Airbnb to where you can purchase the condo and basically they take care of the housekeeping for you, the check-ins, the check-outs. But the guy that we was working with, he ended up moving. So we just kind of like didn't.
Oh, so you was about to do it?
Yeah, we were really looking into it. We had went and seen it and everything. We had videos of it. Like, it was lit. it was like a no-brainer. It was super dope. Like it was everything. It was gonna be a really dope idea, especially because everything was gonna be automated. So I didn't have to worry about who was gonna clean, who was gonna check in the guests. Like they were gonna take care of everything. But after he moved, we just never, like looked back into it honestly. So we did have plans to move to go to Puerto Rico, but other than that, nowhere else other than Puerto Rico that I've ever looked.
Okay.
Yeah. Jamaica's really good for Airbnbs. Costa Rica's really good for Airbnbs. Mexico is really good for Airbnbs. As far as like international, Bali is really good. People love Airbnbs in Bali for some reason. Those are the main places for international that I know for the industry.
Have you ever thought about doing a clothing line? Because you was trying to do it like when you was younger, like the lingerie line you was talking about.
Yeah, so I had a lingerie line, but it wasn't like my own creations. Well, the robes were, but the actual lingerie wasn't. But now, no, that's not really my lane.
Okay.
I don't have time for that shit.
Just like a shirt, like with your logo or like nothing like that?
Oh yeah, I got some shirts. I got shirts with my logo on it. I just don't sell them. Like when I have events and stuff, I provide them at my events, but I don't sell them. I was just saying after InvestFest, people, everything that they have on is branded. Like everything that people had was branded. Like they had books, t-shirts, pens. I do have pens, I have cups, I have hand sanitizers, but like I definitely need to take my product line to another level.
Okay.
I definitely need to do that. So I do want to come up, and I just told my boyfriend, like, I want to do like a t-shirt contest on Instagram. Like somebody coming up with the best, Airbnb host t-shirt, and then like I just give them $1,000. Like whoever wins gets $1,000. Just so I don't have to try to come up with my own design. Like it'd be some really creative people on Instagram. So I do need to do that. I need to work on it. I need to put that in my notes.
Okay.
I put that in my notes. Work on my t-shirt line.
Have you ever thought about owning a Chick-fil-A?
Somebody said that to me yesterday at the event. I did think about owning a Chick-fil-A then at the time, but the thing about Chick-fil-A is once you become an operator, they don't allow you to have any other business endeavors.
Oh, so you're going to have to stop everything else.
You got to stop everything you do. People don't know that about Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
I don't know why they do that, but as an owner-operator, you cannot have any other business endeavors.
So
and that's not me.
So all you can do is just Chick-fil-A for
That's
the
it.
line. Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah,
So
I didn't know that either. Oh, so you looked into it?
Yeah, then, because like, I didn't have all these thoughts and I didn't feel limited. Like I felt limited because that's all I knew. Then that was my goal, was to be, as I was working there, was to be an owner operator. But after I started like tapping into entrepreneurship, I'm like, y'all can have this shit. Like hell no, I'm out.
I feel that.
Yeah, so I did think about owning a Chick-fil-A, but I ain't really into, like, y'all ain't gonna limit me to just owning a Chick-fil-A. Like, what if I wanted to, own a McDonald's? You gonna tell me no because I own a Chick-fil-A? Like, no. So, yeah.
So what's next for you? Like, what do you see yourself like in 5 years or 10 years?
So next is my goal, so before COVID hit, was to have my own residential Airbnb building, strictly for Airbnb.
Like TJ's design?
Yes, but I wanted to be like a high rise.
Okay.
That was my goal before COVID.
In Atlanta or?
In Atlanta.
Okay.
In Atlanta. What I've learned out here is with the investors is the hotel boutiques are really popular out here. It's not really popular in Atlanta. So I'll be the first person to ever do that in Atlanta.
Have you looked into buying land over there?
Yes. In Atlanta for sure. That's what I want to do. I don't want to take another building and do it. I want to build my building from ground up. Yeah. Because I want it to be a high rise and I want it to be strictly for Airbnb. So right now we have the Airbnbs, we have a luxury transportation company. So we got transportation, we got the Escalade, the Sprinters. And then we have hot seats for the basketball games. We have concert club seats at the Phillips Arena. At the State Farm Arena. And then we got Falcons seats. And we got Atlanta United. So we got entertainment. So we got somewhere for you to stay. Somewhere for you to, like have fun, entertainment. And then we got transportation. Like we literally got everything. So the goal with the building was to make it a full-blown concierge company. To where it's a one-stop shop. Excuse me, I got the massage therapist. I provide the packages, like everything for the unit, for the business, for the concierge company. So I'm like, it's lit. Like, we don't really need anything else. So that's my goal. That's what I want next for me. Like,
so you try to have like everything in house.
Everything is in house. Everything is in house. Even with the housekeeping company, like, we don't have to like outsource a housekeeping company because he already has a housekeeping company. So everything that we built is like one-stop shop. Now it's about like putting it together. My boyfriend has a box truck company, so he wants to build a fleet for the box truck company. But that's his thing. Like, I just kind of like help with that, but that's not really my thing.
Okay.
I do like being on the road, but I want to help him grow his fleet, and he wants to get an Escalade for the transportation company. So his goals are different than mine, and then like when we bring them together, like everything literally just comes together as one. So yeah, that's what's next for me, my building.
Are you do when you buy the land and you start building, are you do like a crowdfunding, or you gonna use your own money?
No, I want to use my own money, and that's why I haven't done it yet. Like, I don't want no investors. I don't want nobody to help me. Like, like it sounds selfish, but like.
No, I feel you.
Yeah,
I want to do that too.
At the point that I'm at in my career,
I want to use my own money.
Yeah, I don't want y'all help, because when I want to do if I want to do this light fixture, I don't need your input. If I want to use this table, I don't need you to say no, because I'm going to use the table. So I'm going to use my money. You know what I mean? Like, the point that I'm at in my career and the things that I made it through by myself without anybody else's money or without anybody else's help, like now when I get to, my building is the ceiling for me.
What are you going to name it?
I don't know. I haven't even thought that far yet.
Okay.
I really haven't even thought that far. It would probably be J&A something. I don't know. J&A something. So I really haven't even got that far yet. But the main thing is securing the land and the permits. That's first. Yeah. So that's where I'm at with it.
Did you get a blueprint yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
So it's so difficult with the real estate industry right now in Atlanta that you kind of got to fall into place. You know, like the main thing is the location. So I like to work in steps. Like, I'm not about to be looking at step 10 if I haven't even completed step 1 yet.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, my anxiety get real bad. Like, I'll be trying to get to step 20 before I even start on step 2. So I'll just take things one step at a time. So that's where I'm at with the building. Like, I really need to I've been so focused on everything else that's kind of like a long-term goal for me. So it's not something that I'm solely focused on at this very moment. You know what I mean? But definitely within the next 5 years, like, that's my goal, is my building.
Okay. I'm gonna stop right there. Okay. I'm gonna ask you like an either or.
Okay.
We'll be done. That's cool?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Flips or rentals?
Rentals.
Wholesaling or rentals?
Wholesaling.
VRBO or Airbnb?
Definitely Airbnb.
Okay. Earn Your Leisure or Sleepers for Suckers?
Earn Your Leisure. I don't even know what Sleepers for Suckers is.
David Shands? No?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. Money or equity?
Equity.
2 million followers or a rental property?
A rental property. Ooh.
850 credit score or $1 million?
850 credit score.
For real?
For sure.
Why you chose 850 over $1 million?
Because I can use this 850 to go get $2 million.
Okay.
But I can go get $3 million again.
Okay, that's
and I might get another $1 million. But you get that $1 million and then you spend it and it's gone. The 850 credit score take you a long way.
Okay.
So I like to you can use your credit to leverage cash. For real. You really can do that.
That's what I do. Yeah,
for sure. So you might have 5 lines of credit while you still building your credit and you still got the cash. But you can have cash and no credit and you only can go so far because these banks ain't gonna give you no money. So when it comes to investing, like, the main thing is really using other people's money. You know what I mean? So you can't really do that with only having cash. You can't go to the bank and be like, yeah, I got $100,000. Can I get 200,000 or can I get $1 million? But you can go and say, I got an 850 credit score. Let me have $1 million, and they gonna give it to you. Okay. You know what I mean? So definitely the credit score.
Tour or Airbnb?
Airbnb.
LLC or S corp?
S corp.
I'm gonna leave it right there.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You sure?
Thank you.